Thank you so much for joining me on this wonderful interview. I mean, I heard a lot what you've said on the stage. I mean, it was so engaging and so thought-provoking. But let's start with, your name and where you work, and your designation will be better as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. My name is ABDULKADIR Abass. I am a director of the Securities and Exchange Commission. I actually head a department called Registration, Exchanges, Market Infrastructure and Innovation Department. So my work is actually to oversee that department.
Yeah.
So that's just my
can you tell us a little bit about the Securities and Exchange Commission?
So for the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, it's a capital market regulator, or if you like, you can say apex regulator of the Nigerian capital market.
Great.
And we are saddled with two responsibilities, basically, to develop the market and to protect the investing public. That's essentially the principal plank of our mandate. So, and we have a lot of tools. If we say we are going to regulate the market, how do you regulate, for instance? First of all, anyone that is going to play in the market needs to be registered with the SEC. Yeah. If you are going to issue a product to the public, that product has to be registered with the SEC. And of course, even the marketplace, which are the securities exchanges, the stock exchanges that you are hearing, we have to register those security exchanges. So we really have a very big role in terms of regulating the entire spectrum of the market. So I can split it in three ways. We regulate three P's: the participants, the products, and the marketplace.
Great.
So that is really our own key mandate as SEC.
Okay. So
and we again collaborate with other regulators, because we are just capital market regulator, for instance. We have other regulators like the central bank, for instance.
Absolutely.
We have pension, we have NICOM. All these are regulatory bodies. So we normally collaborate, to really see that we didn't leave any regulatory arbitrage, so to say.
I mean, this is wonderful. I mean, some people, the audience might not even know what you do, as Securities and Exchange Commission. They just hear that SEC, they throw it all around. But thank you so much for, elaborating that for now. I would like to just trickle it down to when you received the letter that you'll be attending this conference, and you saw towards just transition. What came to your mind?
Right. This is really very, very apt for us, because as SEC, as SEC, the theme of this conference is actually in line with our own even core mandate.
Great.
Because one of the areas that we're trying to even develop is actually about green financing or sustainable financing. It will interest you to know that we even have framework, on issuing this kind of products. We have, for instance, a rule that, if you want to issue green bond, for instance, we have a rule on green bond. And based on that rule, we have good outing, because, issuers actually approach the commission. We have approved 3 green bonds, for instance. So we have even regulation on social bond. So this just transition is actually in line with sustainable finance framework, which we already have developed and which issuers are leveraging on. Because it's really, that is really the way to go. As a regulator, create the enabling environment. And we have been doing that in terms of conventional instruments. So when we got this invite, we're looking at the content of it is actually aligned. And again, because we're, in addition to what we have done on the conventional space, we are developing non-interest capital market products. So we're even about to come up with rules on green scope, for instance, which is in line with the theme of this program. Apart from even green bond, green scope, other sustainable instruments, or even ethical funds. We have rule on ethical funds, and we have 13 ethical mutual funds now, right now, that we have registered with the SEC. So really, this is actually in line. It's like the organizers are actually
we are reading your mind.
Our own work.
This is wonderful. This is wonderful. I would not like to put you on the spot, but this question actually lingers, and people might want to know, if not outright answer, but at least to know what is really going on. Is SEC thinking about this? We have a lot of fintech companies out there, and we feel, who are the people regulating the fintech companies? They will say they are doing investment and this and that, and we know that you regulate investment in Nigeria. So what are you doing to be able to bring these people, these companies, into your net?
Thank you for that question. It will really interest you to know that the SEC has recognized, that fintech, space as an area that we need to regulate, and we define our scope. If you are investing, if you are issuing, or if you are a fintech proposal connotes to an investment activity which we're supposed to regulate, it actually fall under our mandate as SEC to regulate.
Absolutely.
So for any fintech, and we have actually even issued a circular in 2020.
Okay.
And that circular, speak to what we are looking at in terms of scope of our own confine to regulation of fintech. And when we started with that, we issued a classification of, virtual asset, fintech proposal that has to do with investment activity that ought to be regulated by the SEC.
Okay.
Then we had stakeholders engagement to actually enlighten the stakeholders about the areas of confine of regulation as far as SEC is concerned. And we went further to now come up with, what we call innovation, division. It's a division, and that division, if you have any fintech proposal in the market, what we tell the market participant is that if you have any fintech proposal or anybody that has fintech proposal, approach the SEC. We will now do an initial assessment of the fintech to see if it falls within our confine. Then we will now give you a kind of guide to see the route that you need to go in. In addition to that, we now come up with regulation on regulatory incubation. So it's just like sandbox. And it will interest you to know that now we have onboarded 2, fintech proposals into the sandbox. And the idea is you have them on the regulated, on the sandbox, so that they can come and test their idea. Within that period, we as regulators, we can be able to see whether we need to tweak our regulation or to come up with a new regulation to accommodate those ideas. So SEC is really open to fintech. We are open to new proposals with the aim of deepening the market. But of course, we will not lose sight of investor protection. Whatever we do, we try to see that, look, the investing public are well protected. So under the regulatory incubation guideline, if you look at our website, we clearly stipulated that we will onboard fintech idea that is appealing after you have passed the initial assessment test. Then you will now do a kind of test run, and it will last for 12 months. Within that 12 months, we can be able to understand properly. So it's an opportunity for us to understand you properly.
Absolutely.
At the same time, you will be able to see the risks of that proposal and then tweak your rule or come up with a rule. If after 12 months, we're able to now make a determination, then we'll now bring you out of the regulatory environment, and then you will now go into the full-scale operation.
I mean,
so this is really one of the ways to
wonderful.
Really,
This is wonderful.
To encourage fintech. And just to say one thing, this is is open to any kind of proposal.
Okay.
Whether conventional instrument that you want to issue, or if you want to issue, a non-interest, instrument as well.
Okay.
We have, in addition, registered one robo-advisory. And that one is actually, geared towards giving robo-advisory on Sharia-compliant instruments. Wow. So they are yet to start operation. But just to give you,
I know a lot of people. Yes. I mean, you've really given us
crowdfunding, of course.
Great.
We have regulation on crowdfunding, and we have registered 2 crowdfunding intermediaries right now.
This is wonderful. I know a lot of the audience don't even know you do all this because they see you up there and they will be like, how can we approach SEC? And I believe what struck me from what you mentioned is the protection of, the investors is very, very important. And I believe from what you have seen, investors need to be protected and they need to be aware of all this. And I believe that's why I asked you that question. So thank you so much, Mr. Abbas, for really, taking time to have this wonderful interview with me.
It's really a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.